Hey guys, so I want to talk about the big news in soccer, and I am French, and we won 4-1 today in the World Cup, so I'm really happy about that. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about. Um, of course, it's going to be the Cristiano Ronaldo story, how he mutually parted ways with Manchester United, mutually. um, I think there's a lot of bitterness on both sides, and I think the main reason for this is poor leadership from the Glazer family. Um, and there's reports that they're going to sell the club, and I hope they sell the club because they've been very incompetent for 10 plus years as owners of Manchester United. One of the most historical soccer team and just sports team that was built by Alex Ferguson and the many years of success they had. And to see the Glazers, just bring the club down like that, it's really sad to see. And um, I'm hearing a lot in the press like they think Ronaldo's done, big ego and all that, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think, last year, I mean, obviously he's not in his prime anymore. He's 37, so he's not the same player he was when he was 29 or even 32. But he scored 25 goals last year. He might arguably be the greatest player of all time. He's in phenomenal shape. Takes care of himself extremely well. Um, yeah, he's not the problem. Yeah, I don't think he's the problem. Obviously, he wasn't happy, and he did it. He stepped off the field early. He did that twice. I think at that point, it didn't really matter. I mean, the relationship was broken, especially the second time. Um, like Eric Ten Hag never wanted Ronaldo on his team. I think he wanted him as like a third option behind, Rashford and Martial. But he, Ronaldo didn't fit Eric Ten Hag's system. And you see, and I don't blame Eric Ten Hag for taking the position, the stance that he did, because he's trying to create a culture at United and he's trying to build a system and all that. And so it makes sense. But the problem is this. The problem is you get Ronaldo a year and a half ago to come to Manchester United when he could have gone to other clubs. Right? He could have maybe gone to City. And then halfway through the year, you fire the coach. You bring in not even a coach, but a coaching director, a sporting director, right? Who has a completely different philosophy than the players you have. So then you have to bring in all these other players, and all the recruitment that was done that offseason didn't pan out. Like every recruitment that United has, none of the players end up panning out, even though they're very talented when they arrive and they're very expensive and they've had success. And so then Ralph Rangnick, the sporting director, brings on Eric Ten Hag. And so ever since then, Ronaldo and the coach, they clash because it was obvious from the beginning that it just wasn't a good fit. And so the question is, as your direction, it's like they keep going one way and then they keep going another way and then they go another way and then they go another way. Why? Because they don't know anything about soccer, right? And it doesn't matter what decisions you make. If you're just constantly flip-flopping, you're never going to, have a straight direction in a way that's going to work, right? There's many ways you can build a club and a team and tactically and philosophically to create a winning team. But if you're constantly just changing because you don't know what you're doing and every time something goes wrong, you panic, then it's never going to work. And so that's the main problem. And so now, it's Ronaldo versus Ten Hag versus the board versus it was never going to work. I don't think Ronaldo's washed up. I don't think Eric Ten Hag's necessarily a bad coach, but I don't think it's ever going to work for either of them at Manchester United, together or not, just because the board is completely incompetent. The Glazers are completely incompetent. They don't know anything about soccer. There isn't somebody, the best thing that can happen is maybe you give Ralph Rangnick a lot of power for 3, 4, 5 years and see if he can make the right footballing decisions. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty pessimistic about that, and I don't think they're going in the right direction. And if Ronaldo's at fault, we'll find out. Everybody's saying he's done. I'm not convinced of it, and we'll see in this World Cup. He's going to play in the World Cup, If he has a good World Cup, then he'll land in a really good club, after the World Cup. If not, then he'll probably go to MLS or something like that, and his career is going to be over. But he scored 25 goals last year. He's in great shape. He's kind of like LeBron in basketball. I mean, yeah, he's no longer in his prime, but he's still one of the best strikers in the world. And unless you have that striker in the world, like unless you have a Haaland or Mbappe or a Benzema, you know, don't tell me Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial and the players that Man United currently have, are better than Cristiano Ronaldo, because they just haven't proven it, especially consistently. I mean, Rashford didn't do anything last year. I think he was hurt for most of the season. And it's not like he's 37, he's 24. So, I get that injuries happen, but I don't know. I find it weird that Ronaldo's getting thrown under the bus for Manchester United's problems when it's clear that their problems are much more fundamental than that. And I think I think Ronaldo's the easy guy to pick on, and I think that's why he came out with that interview too, because I think he's getting all the negative press and all that stuff, and I don't know. I'm on his side, but we'll see. We'll see if he still has the professionalism. We'll see if he still has the talent. If he can still do it at a high level, because right now it's the World Cup, so we'll find out. I'm excited to see Portugal and what they do, and if he's terrible and people are right, then yeah, that's going to be it for Ronaldo, because he's not gonna land a spot at Chelsea or Real Madrid or any place or even Bayern Munich, which are all possible landing spots, for Ronaldo, because they all need a striker. But no one's gonna want to take on that salary or the ego or any of that if he doesn't play at a high level anymore. So anyways, that's kind of my take on this. And so, hey, keep following the World Cup, and we'll see how it all unfolds. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.